Well, leaders from all around the world are in Washington, D.C. right now for NATO's annual summit, where the Ukraine war is, of course, at the centre of discussions. And Defence Minister Richard Marles is set to announce a new aid package for Ukraine, whilst US President Joe Biden has committed to providing Ukraine with 5 new strategic air defence systems to bolster their fight against Vladimir Putin. Here's what he had to say.
The United States, Germany, the Netherlands, Romania and Italy will provide Ukraine with the equipment for 5 additional strategic air defense systems. But make no mistake, Ukraine can and will stop Putin.
Yeah, it's a bit shaky, but it's amazing what he can do with a teleprompter. Joining me now is Strategic Analysis Australia Director and Sky News contributor Michael Shoebridge. Michael, what do you make of the developments, particularly in relation to Ukraine in terms of this aid? It's a hell of a lot of aid that has been provided to Ukraine so far. There's more to come. Where does it end?
Well, I think it ends with Putin failing to meet his war objectives, which is dismembering Ukraine and toppling the government. So it is good to see some positive news out of this Washington NATO summit, that those extra Patriot missile defense systems and some shorter range ones as well. Obviously, the Russian missile strike on Ukraine's largest children's hospital shows this is essential for the civilians as well as the Ukrainian military. But I think a bigger issue on every other leader's mind at that NATO meeting is when Biden projects certainty and strength in the US contribution, it's hard for them to even see certainty in him staying the Democrat presidential candidate over the next few months.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, there's no talk anymore, certainly not in the short term, that Ukraine will itself join NATO. That has been rejected at this point in time, so it'll be interesting to see how these things develop. What else are we expecting to come out of this summit?
Well, I'm prepared to be underwhelmed yet again by the Australian contribution to Ukraine. You know, the rumoured package is 3 large 3D printers for printing spares. That's handy. But the Australian Army's retiring its M1 Abrams tanks because it's getting the new model. It could give them a training package to Ukraine, and it's doing the same with attack helicopters that are European. But remember, the last helicopters the Australian military retired, the defence bureaucrats cut up and buried. So I would love to see Richard Marles do the right thing by Ukraine, but I doubt we'll see that. The other thing I think we're seeing is President Duda of Poland is saying the sensible thing. NATO members shouldn't be clapping themselves on the back for a lot of them meeting 2% of GDP on defence. They need to be spending 3%. And I think Richard Marles should bring that message back home here.
Yes, he certainly should, but whether he does is another matter entirely, of course.